In this video, I'm going to take you through step by step what you need to do to get started with your physical training journey, specifically to those over the age of 40. When we get to the age of 40, our type 2B muscle fibres start to slowly degenerate, and those muscle fibres are responsible for power, speed and strength. Can we train those areas? Yes. Should we train those areas? Yes. Unless you want to be one of those people that uses age as an excuse into their 50s, 60s and 70s, and then you are riddled with permanent limitations because you spent the past 30 years shrugging your shoulders, blaming age. Yes, of course age has a part to play. Age will ensure that your recovery rates are a little bit slower. But we can still improve our strength, speed and power. So grab yourselves a brew, grab yourself a notebook and let's get started. My name is Paul Green. I'm a former Special Forces Support Group operator and British paratrooper. Not only have I worked in some of the most elite units in the British Army, but I've also specialised in being a physical training instructor in those units. I have worked with a wide range of individuals, varying from extremely fit to extremely unfit, and also people that are recovering from injuries. Men, women, and all different ages. The same thing that I notice, the same solution I see for most issues with people's bodies. People that are struggling to get out of bed in the morning, they've got knee pain, lower back pain, and people that have, in a different area of their life, different profession, joiners, climbers, rock climbers, skiers, paratroopers age 42, businessmen age 55, getting out of bed, knee pain. It's the same solution. And that's the purpose of this channel. Educational content in which takes you through, step by step, exactly what you need to do in order to improve your capacity to continue years of craziness. Step number 1, you need to find a way to allocate 1 hour per day to yourself. That 1 hour is no distractions. You are doing this to improve your strength, improve your recovery, reduce the risk of injury, improve your fitness, improve your mobility. Uninterrupted. Phone off, essentially. Turn your phone off. Not interested. Can you do that? If you can't even do that, you might as well turn this video off. Just go away. Honestly. If you cannot allocate 1 hour of your time, if you can't say to your missus, don't talk to me in between the hours of 5 and 6. If you can't look your children in the eyes and say, I'm not interested in being a father after in between these hours. Work. You are not working in between these hours. Why? Because you are either in the gym 3 times a week, that's all you need to do 3 times a week, or you are preparing your meals in order to fuel high performance in the gym and optimise your recovery after these gym sessions. What takes longer? Probably takes longer to prepare food than it does actually train. However, the preparation of food will ensure that you never get caught off guard. You're always prepared. You've always got calories there, ready to go, of a good quality, ready to go at a moment's notice. That is so important because you'll be the first person to admit, how do you feel after you haven't eaten for 8 hours? You're just looking for instant hormones, food, snacks, probably shit quality, just something just to settle it. And then you'll get a substantial meal in. But you have to cook that fucking thing. There's another half an hour out of your day. Do all your cooking for 2 days in advance, in one go. It will absolutely change everything, and it will mostly eradicate all of these bad intentions. Right, so I'm going to use an example for specific training for specific goals. I'm going to use an example from my own physical training career, and I would like you to be able to just push that into your own mini program. Future videos, I will be talking about programming and exercises, blah 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 blah. However, thought processes and concepts first, and then you can just look forward to the future videos. For example, when I was in the parachute regiment and I was a physical trainer instructor in the parachute regiment, we have 20 weeks to get a random person off the streets who volunteered to join the parachute regiment. We have 20 weeks to get them ready for one of the most difficult fitness tests in the world. It's called P Company, and P Company entails a bunch of crazy fitness tests which are extremely difficult for even anybody to achieve in the British Army. So you might think, how the fuck do you manage to pull that off? Well, it's pretty straightforward. We have the end goal, and then we just work backwards. with the programming. So if I've got 20 weeks, what am I doing on week 19? Well, week 19 is going to be kind of chilled out to ensure that maximum energy, maximum performance on the test week. But then what do? And you just you've got the tests, and then you just reverse the tests. So then a 10 miler, which is one of the tests of P company, becomes a 9 miler on week 18. Week 17, it might be another 9 miler. Week 16, it might be an 8. And then it comes down all the way to 2 miler. So one of the first loaded march sessions we do in order to achieve the 10 miler will be a 3 miler. It'll be 3 miles conducted at the same pace as the 10 miler, and it'll be with the same weight. And now you see, 20 weeks out, we have got a random person off the street doing 3 miles at the same pace a paratrooper would do 10 miles. Now they need to maintain that for a couple of sessions in order for it to be embedded in the strength of their legs, the strength of their core, and their upper back, whatever. And then that increases. It goes from a 3 to a 4. And then we slowly build up over the course of a period of time, which is the time that you think that goal would be achievable. Let me give another example. Let's say if I want to, what's a normal thing for a man? A normal thing for a man. A normal thing for a man over 40 would be a very normal goal. It's not very specific, but I will say that and I'll make it specific. So I need you to find a very specific goal. Now typically, if I was to ask 100 people, 100 men over 40, what their goal is in regards to physical training. From a personal trainer point of view, most men would answer, I want to get a little bit stronger, I want to tone up, and I want to lose a bit of body fat. That's not very specific. So, on the side of strength, what specifically do you want to get stronger? Let's say, for example, you've had issues with, knees over the past 10 years, over the past 20 years you've had issues with. It may be then to improve the strength of your knees. So improve the strength of your legs. So then it goes a level deeper than that. Well, what exercises can I do to improve the strength of my legs? In specifically the strength of my knees. So you keep going down the rabbit hole of each of them, and then you end up with a very specific goal, which may be, for example, a heels elevated back squat, 5 rep max of 100 kilograms. That'll be a very specific goal. And then, what else did I say? So again, a general goal would be the body weight one that I said. I want to lose a little bit of body weight. Well, how much? How much body weight do you want to lose? How much body fat do you want to lose? So with that, you want to lose 10% of body fat. Cool. That's a very specific goal. And then what else? Tone up muscle size. So when you strip body fat down, muscle size does appear to be bigger, which is great. However, how do we track that? We can use photos, and we can also track progression in the gym. Just like you would at work, notebook. Anytime I've got a goal and I achieve it, rattle it off. Or what am I doing that day? Write it down. Notes in the gym are massively important, whether you're writing on your phone or just writing on a little notebook. You've got a little gym notebook. If your strength is progressing at a normal rate, and you are taking photos every week, and you are eating the right amount of protein every single day, your muscle size will increase, and yeah, you will get more toned. You will see over time. That's just the reality of the situation. So what I've done there is I've created a generalized set of goals, which is typical, but I've just made you start thinking more specifically. If your goals are general, you're going to get general results. It's very hard to train for something in general. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a bit wishy-washy. So you need to enter the rabbit hole of each and then align one specific thing to that. Let's say, for example, you are a gentleman who wants to improve the strength of their knees. What do you need to do? You need to measure your knee strength. How do you do that? Well, you need to do an exercise which probably is the same exercise as your goal, ideally. However, you need to measure the strength of your knee through a full range of motion. Now, you can go to the gym and do all these exercises. I'm sure there's like knee exercises in the gym or whatever, resistance machines. They're great. However, they very rarely work your knee through a full range of motion. So I would just do the goal. I'd go to the gym. If your goal is a squat, then I'd do a squat. See where you currently are. With regards to measuring where you currently are and measuring where the journey that you currently are looking to go on, I would not improve the weight that you are lifting more than 10% per week. So for example, you are currently at 40 kilogram back squat. Your goal by the end of the year is to double that. It might sound crazy, right? But it wouldn't surprise me if you did that. Think about it. So week number 1, you are squatting 40 kilograms. Week number 2, you are squatting 40 kilograms again. But you are squatting 40 kilograms again with better technique than you did on the first week. Week number 3, I nearly got mixed up there. Week number 3, you increase the weight by 10%. You are now lifting 44 kilograms. And you're doing the same amount of reps you were doing for 40 kilograms on the first week. Happy days. You stick to 40. You're thinking, can I improve the weight? Can I improve the weight of this squat for next week? So these are the decisions you need to make, because there is a bunch of variables that are actually happening. Sleep, whatever. You might actually feel amazing, and you might think, you know what? I'm going to increase it because that felt really good. That session felt really good, so I'm going to increase it. And you might suffer for that. The next week, you go to 48 kilograms, and it might just be a little bit too much. So then you knock it back down and give yourself at 44 a couple more weeks, and then you increase it. Like I said, as a general rule of thumb, whether you are running, whether you are weightlifting, a 10% increase in volume or weight or resistance lifted is a good rule of thumb to live by. Let's say you want to run 10k and you've never run 10 kilometers in your life before. You can only run 2 kilometers without stopping. That's fine, because the goal is 10k. We've got a start point, we've got an end state. Now, how do we get there? So first thing, I would look at, why are you stopping? So there's 2 reasons why you would stop when you are running. It's because your lungs are going crazy and you just can't do it anymore, you feel like you're going to pass out, or your legs are that tired, filled with blood, and they haven't got that level of strength that you have to stop. Now, the gold standard would be to actually keep going until you literally pass out, but I'm not going to be sat here advertising that. There's 2 reasons. 1, out of breath to such an extent. Like I said, the second one is strength. So 1 is cardio and 1 is strength. And usually with people that have a cardio based, they stop because of their heart and lungs are just going too much. It's not because they're not fit enough, it's because they're running way too fast. So there's a running based goal and how you progress it. You would then increase you'd then do a 2k a few times a week, and then you do a couple of 1ks. So your weekly mileage becomes 10k. You've got a start point. And then next week, your weekly mileage would be 11 kilometers. So you'd do, 4 2s and a 3. Do you know what I mean? That's how you increase your mileage. This is called, whether it is increasing the resistance in the gym, or whether it's called, this is called progressive overload. Incrementally improving the amount of work that you can do week by week, session by session. And what do you think that achieves? If you don't achieve your physical goal in the time frame, it's one of your first goals, by the way. It's one of your first physical goals. If you don't achieve it, then you look back and go, didn't really achieve that goal, fucking hell. However, you've still improved all of that much. And you can improve on a number of different things. You can improve your strength straight up. If you've got a strength-based goal and you improve your strength, happy days. You can improve your technique. So people don't realise your technique is probably improving as well. Third thing, which people take for granted, you could be improving your recovery. So you might be lifting, let's say, 60% more in 6 months' time, and you're like, oh yeah, my goal's to do 80% more. You could be lifting 60% more, and you no longer feel sore after sessions, or you no longer feel like you struggle getting out of bed, struggle walking the dog, struggle running upstairs, struggle playing with your kids. Do you know what I'm saying? So the byproducts of you trying to execute this goal that you've set may be actually better than achieving that goal. Hopefully I've given you a lot to think about, and at the very least, something substantial to put in your back pocket and get started on this journey. My mission is to help men over 40 overcome the decline of type 2 muscle fibres, type 2B muscle fibres. Help train them, help educate them on effective strength training, power, speed, to improve their longevity. Gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks if you've reached it to the end of the video, and see you tomorrow.